Again, hockey fans, are you ready to brave the wild with me, your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan? Brave the Wild is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps and, of course, on the Hockey Podcast Network. Thank you so much, Dylan and Kyle, for having me on board there. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate all of you listening to this show, downloading and listening to it. It is a nice pleasure to be back on board with you once again today. The sky's kind of pretty out there, kind of marbled sky today, some blue, some some, I don't even know how you call it, deep warm kind of clouds, a little bit of sun. It's a little bit warmer compared to what it's been. Unfortunately, as you can tell, I'm not healthy. I'm not particularly healthy. I've had a sinus infection mixed in with God knows what else. But yeah, it started off weird, kind of like the flu, turned into a sinus infection. So it's different. And like different the remedies are working that wouldn't have worked on a normal cold. So it's interesting stuff how things work. All the different stuff on the shelves you can pick up. And it's random. And of course, potential cough as well. Okay, so enough about me. But other than the show's going to be shorter today. Obviously, I've been kind of messing around just trying to, trying to get things together here. Obviously, I had to pick some stuff up. Finally got my paycheck for the week, that kind of thing. Like everybody's living check to check these days. It doesn't even matter anymore. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people are, more so than they want to admit. So yes, today's going to be shorter, starting the show later. Obviously, my voice, I don't know, that kind of thing. Not feeling my best, as you can probably tell, like 50 times over. Otherwise, the Minnesota Wild aren't feeling their best either. Obviously, there's been injuries that keep piling up. One guy up, the next guy's down, or one's up, and two are down. Apparently a Baseball Hall of Famer, Bob Uecker, dies at 90. That's just popping up on the screen here as I'm on the Wild schedule. So Bob Uecker at 90 passes away. The Minnesota Wild, terrible week, I would have to say. I mean, you get throttled by Colorado, then you beat San Jose, and then beat by Vegas and Edmonton. I had a feeling this could be an ugly week, and unfortunately it was. The Minnesota Wild 1-3 this past week, only beating the Sharks. So with the way today's show is going to be set up, it's probably going to be two segments. So kind of topical and then fan interaction, that type of thing. Obviously, just looking at the games kind of with the topical vibe to it. Like the positive side, obviously, well, there's major negatives. 6-1 to Colorado. It's like a reality check. And it's funny, too, considering, well, I'm not looking at this correctly. Yeah, earlier I saw something that didn't make any sense. It looked like Colorado was a 500 team, and no, they're not. They're 10 games above 500. So, I don't know, maybe I'm losing my mind. But a 6-1 loss, and the only guy who scores is Bogosian with Boudreau and Trenin. That sounds very familiar. A cute group of players, but 6-1 loss. The Wild outclassed pretty much from the face-off. And that was it. Mackenzie Blackwood's been a nice revelation for a team that was struggling in the net. Like I said, if one team passes the Wild, I think it's more likely Colorado than the Dallas Stars, even though the Stars are ahead of them right now, them being Colorado. So we'll see. Talked about Makar, all that, just unbelievable player. And the ongoing frustrations with the fourth line, that's kind of one of the topics going into today. Kuznetsov doesn't produce. Now he doesn't even win faceoffs anymore. What did he have? 3? It didn't reflect how bad it was with one of the stats I brought up last week. I said like something along the likes of 3 of 5. No, that'd be like he was good. No, 3 wins, 5 losses, and that's what happened here. 3 wins, 5 losses. There was one that was like 3-7, like that's real bad, or 3-9, whatever. 3 wins, 9 losses in some cases. But Kuznetsov doesn't even win faceoffs anymore. Devin Shore and Ben Jones are just kind of like, they're just out there to be on the fourth line, and that's about it. I mean, it's, I don't know, nothing's happening with those two. I'm not trying to be a jerk to them, it's just an unfortunate fact. Brock Faber is most likely a concussion. Brodin, I'm not even sure, but adding Brodin to the list, it's like suicide as far as I'm concerned. Then you got to see David Jiricek make his debut to the National Hockey League. So Lambos never got a second in the short call-up he had. And then how Brock Faber went down, and of course Brodin now added to that list. With Middleton coming back. Middleton was a -4, by the way, versus Colorado. Yikes. So you're seeing Travis Dermott, David Jiricek, with Zach Zach Bogosian and John Merrill are on your second pair. Your top pairing, you ready? Declan Chisholm, whatever, and Jake Middleton. Wow. Like Jake Middleton, okay, sure. Declan Chisholm is on your top pair. That's where we're at right now. That's pretty much all you need to know. John Merrill's on your second pair. And then Juracek, well, big guy, but again, like the ongoing complaint is defensively he's not real good because he's not really flexible. How do you explain it? You know, he doesn't turn well. You know what I mean? He's not really good at making lateral moves and all of that. He's just slower at keeping up defensively. He's an offensive-minded guy, puck mover, and all of that. He's got a powerful shot, but he's obviously that's not translating to the NHL just yet. This was his Minnesota Wild debut versus Colorado, and he played 16 minutes. Okay, it's now, yeah, because then obviously with the lineup like that, you're probably going to want everybody playing a significant amount of minutes. You don't want to have certain guys playing like 30 minutes, like Declan Chisholm. You don't want him out there 28 minutes or something, and Juracek only 6. That's kind of bad. So, I don't know. It's just there's no Kaprizov. And pretty much the whole offense just kind of didn't provide a whole lot in this game. And Colorado outclassed the Wild all over the place. Continuing, please. Yes, I got to be mindful of the time here. The only game the Wild won was against San Jose. Very mediocre performance. Even though Fleury was pretty good in the net. He was fantastic. But that's the whole point. Like, 37 shot attempts by the Sharks. So it's like defensively the Wild were pretty pathetic. So Fleury basically saved our butts in this one. 40-year-old Marc-Andre Fleury saves the Minnesota Wild in San Jose. Literally saves. And against the young up-and-comer there, who's been pretty good, Yaroslav Askarov. The Wild managed 3 goals against him, believe it or not. So they were all correct. They were all goals. They weren't empty net or anything. So that's nice, I suppose, or bad for Askarov. Of course, again, Nico Sturm, no points. Cunnin, no points. No, these are not Wild players. They're former Wild players. Granlund also, no points. So that's just kind of watching on those guys. There's been a lot of Wild players that have played for the San Jose Sharks over the years, and we're talking a lot. A lot of North Star players, like ex-North Stars, wound up on the Sharks in the early days, like Gaetan Duchesne and others. I still remember that pretty well when they made those early playoff surprises, knocking out the number 1 seed Detroit Red Wings. The Red Wings were absolute chokers, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, bleep that, we're going to win cups, and then they did. Zuccarello was the best Wild player by far in this one. 1 goal, 2 assists, so good for him. Boldy also wound up with a goal, as did Marco Rossi. Boldy has definitely been playing significantly better, and Rossi has been good all season, so huge credit coming to those guys, without a doubt. Kuznetsov only had 3 faceoffs in this game and lost 2 of them. So do the math there. Pretty simple. Marco Rossi. I'm not looking at this correctly. Looking at it totally wrong. Sorry. Yep. He only had 3 faceoffs. Oh, but he won. Okay, 2 and 1. So finally did something decent, I guess. My bad. I apologize. I'm looking at it wrong. Marco Rossi. 9 wins, 10 losses. I know face-off circle. Why is he bringing this up? Well, because I don't know. It is what it is. Like Gaudreau was fantastic. When did he win like 11 and lose 3? So it is kind of like little nuanced stuff, but it's extremely important. I mean, winning the face-offs are important. Gaudreau was phenomenal versus Colorado. Everyone else was pathetic in the face-off circle. Gaudreau tends to be the best face-off guy on the team. And that's one of the reasons he's like on the Wild, obviously. Obviously, there's more to him than just that, but yep, appreciate what he's done there. By 3-1 win by Minnesota over the, what are these weird sounds in my apartment? Anyhow, it's not haunted, I don't think, but weird. Still weird. 3-1 win in San Jose, then you head back to, well, you go to Vegas, go back to the X. T-Mobile Arena. Again, the only goal scorer for Minnesota was Ryan Hartman. He was the opening scorer of the game, only his 6th goal of the season, and it's like, wow, only 6 goals, and it's January. But that sums up Ryan Hartman's season in a lot of ways. But the good news for Ryan Hartman, pardon me, I'm kind of moving here, is that, he had a pretty good week. I don't think he's going to win any awards for it, but he had a good week. And I don't think he's going to win any Mike Modano awards or anything. Pardon me. Oh, man. Again, forgive my voice, please. It's probably really annoying to listen to, and I apologize. I don't like hearing this either from anyone. I don't like listening back to myself sounding like this. Like, oh, that was bad. Gustafson was pretty good in net. He faced 37 shots. I mean, Vegas dominated the puck. Aiden Hill only had to face 16 shots in the freaking game, so that was BS. Vegas pretty much dominated the Wild in this game, even though it was close for an extended period, and Vegas would eventually pull away. The Wild never even went to the empty net because it got to 4-1, so it was pretty much all Vegas after that Hartman goal in the first period. I mean, I think the Wild had a 1-0 lead going into the first intermission. All Vegas after that. They're like, why are we not beating these guys? Well, beat them later. 2 power plays given up in this one again. Unfortunately, Vegas kicking some butoxis. No doubt about that. Continuing to the Edmonton Oilers. And Marcus Johansson was elbowed in the face. Don't think it was intentional, but still, it still counts. It still was an elbow in the face by Connor McDavid, of all people. So I'm sure the NHL didn't want the Wild to retaliate and go crazy, like looking to, kill Connor McDavid out there or anything. So still a frustrating moment. So, I mean, it's the last thing you need, another guy injured, even if it's Marcus Johansson, like however you think about him. But, yeah, frustrating like you wouldn't believe. The Wild ended up, it was a fairly entertaining game. Both teams were getting the puck on net and all of that, but just Edmonton was a little better, unfortunately, at the end of the day. And they have been fantastic after another crappy start like last season. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins always seems to score against Minnesota. He had 2 points, a goal and an assist. McDavid, 2 goals and an assist. One of his goals was on this unbelievable play. Like one of the highlights of the year, kind of like how he was able to go up. So on the play, it was amazing. And unfortunate at the same time. Boldy got a goal and an assist. Yeah, like I said, Hartman scored again. So you're seeing something out of Ryan Hartman. Finally, it's his 7th goal of the season. It's not like he was great, but showing signs that he's getting somewhere. I think he had his 5th goal not too long ago. So, yeah, it's just, he almost scored a goal too, right? We only lost by 9. We almost scored a goal too. Famous line in Mighty Ducks. That was funny, the first Mighty Ducks. So, what's his name had, where is he? Who's Nadinov? 3 face-offs, lost them all. So, I mean, that's something to look at. Drew Larsenek won 10 and lost 5. That's pretty good. That's impressive. Rossi won 9, lost 8. Not bad numbers. So, those are, the Wild reasonable in the face-off circle. But again, I mean, look at your defensive core. That's all you got. Every night, Brodin and Faber scratched because of injury. Sism, whatever. Jake Middleton, Merrill, Bogosian, Juracek, Dermott. You're not going to win anything, if that's all you got. I mean, it's just the way it is. Sism's fine. Middleton is pretty good. Merrill, not so much. Bogosian's, a solid, steady veteran who, you don't want to do too much. Juracek, I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm kind of skeptical of the move. I kind of am, just being honest with you. And Dermott is what Dermott's a journeyman. He's not bad, but he's a journeyman. He's not bad. I mean, he's not Tony. What was his name? Tony Botello. Remember that guy? Like, not only was he like not productive, he was really bad. Like lots of dumb mistakes and stuff. Remember that guy, Tony Botello? And how we had to. Yeah, we were very dramatic. Didn't we have to, lose a player to get him? It was, so stupid. It was so poorly managed by Paul Fenton at the time. I mean, people were up in arms. And one of the 1,000 cuts, deaths by 1,000 cuts. It was one of the 1,000 cuts, basically, on Paul Fenton's resume, or Paul Fenton's regime, whatever, as the Wild GM that only lasted 13 months. Or was it 14 months? I apologize. I remember he got fired he got fired on my birthday, July 29th, 2019. He was hired in May, June-ish, 2018. So shortest lasting GM we've had ever since going with you. The only one that was shorter was the Minnesota Vikings one. What was that guy's name? And he was kind of a jackass too. He wasn't a nice guy, you could tell. I can't remember his name now. Fran Foley, I think. Yeah, jackass. He lasted 2 months. Forget what happened. Yeah, he lied on his resume. So, cute stuff. What happened here? Oh yeah, the Wild took a 3-2 lead. That's what got like, oh my God, the Wild have a chance in this one, and then Edmonton just took over. Depressing, very depressing. Edmonton just took over. Yeah, Hartman unassisted goal. This is weird. Why is it so? It's weird. I don't like the way this is set up. It's stupid. We'll leave it alone. But yeah, Edmonton, again, clearly the better team, and so on and so forth. The Wild just don't have the depth. The Wild don't have this. The Wild don't have that. Can't do this, can't do that. That's pretty much it. Unfortunately, it was depressing to say the least, and not too surprising. Kind of reminds you of the 90s Twins. You know, like many years ago, Sid Hartman asked Tom Kelly, you know, because there's this left-handed pitcher named Rich Robertson he just couldn't even throw over the plate. He was so terrible. Rich Robertson, he could walk your mother, you know. He would, like, he couldn't even strike your mom out because he'd end up walking her. Like, he was so, like, just lousy. And then Tom Kelly was like, Sid Hartman was like, hey, Tom, any way we can put somebody else in there other than Rich Robertson? And then Tom Kelly said, well, who do you want me to put in there, Sid? And that's kind of what it's like. He didn't say it in a mean way, just like reality. Who do you want me to put in there, Sid? And it's kind of like that with the Wild right now. Well, who do you want us to put in there? Like, you want to get rid of Declan Chisholm because you don't like this or that. You don't like John Merrill. You don't like Dermott. You don't like Shore and Jones. Yeah. Like, who else are you going to put in there? That's where we're at, and it's so sad. Because Shore and Jones do literally nothing. Dermott does nothing. Jurasek, I have no idea. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I'm just going to leave it right there. You could go on all day. Like, they're not, none of these guys are making you, like, forget about, even third line or, like third level players. Like a third line player, like, say, Devin Shore and Ben Jones will never even make you think about a third line player. And Husnudinov has been, well, a whole lot of nothing pretty much forever. So that's disheartening as well. And again, Johansson out with the most likely concussion protocol. And they said something about the officials mentioned that Johansson accidentally hit himself with a stick, which is a lot of nonsense. It was an elbow. I know you're protecting the best player in the world, supposedly. And I don't know, it's kind of stupid. It's kind of a dumb statement if that's true. Heard that on Seth Topol, fucking Locked On Wild. Yeah, there was some crazy comments. It was like, a post-game conversation, postcast. People saying that John Hines has lost the room. No. John Hines has lost the room? That'd be like saying Tom Kelly lost the Twins, too, in the 90s. No, he didn't. There was nobody there. You know what I mean? There was, like, nothing there to work with. You had some good players, but as you go down the depth chart and down the lineup, it's like there's, like, nobody there down there after the star players. I mean, Yakov Trenin is a specialist at whatever. He's decent. He's a good penalty killer, and he's got some talent, I guess. Goodrow can win faceoffs. Okay, Johansson scores a goal once about when he feels like it, and then the fourth line is a whole lot of nothing. The defensive pairings are what they are. I mean, what are you going to do? Very disheartening to say the least, but yeah, I better get going. So anyway, disappointing week. The Minnesota Wild here. The Madonna Award is going to go to Boldy. I've liked how he's played this past week. The James Shepard Memorial is going to go to, I don't know. I'm kind of dragging this longer than I was hoping. See, I just, even with my crappy health, I'm still like, I'm just going to keep talking. So I apologize. I don't know. I don't even know. I mean, I guess Husnudinov again. Because, like, Shore and Jones, I can't even say anything. What do you want me to say about Shore and Jones? They're just on the team. They're there. They exist. I can't rip Gustafsson. So that's how that goes. So I'll just say Husnudinov again. Come on, man. Let's go. Let's go, Husnudinov. So let's see what you can do. Otherwise, continuing... Actually, right here, we're going to talk about DraftKings right here and right now. Watching our favorite NHL players is the gift that keeps on giving, and playing Pick 6 from DraftKings, an official partner of the NHL, is a way to take a shot at even more cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and select two or more players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Pick 6 is available in most states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Missouri, and more. And speaking of gifts, new Pick 6 customers play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Well, happy January, happy football playoffs, happy all that good stuff from DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus, age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 is not available anywhere or everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. And thank you so much, DraftKings, for that. Very much so. Would have been nicer if I had that recorded already. I apologize to Pick 6 if I don't sound good, but yeah, I mean the point got across. Get the app. All right, let's get going. Luckily, there's only 2 games coming up, so yeah, so much for being topical. But well, no, it's generally topical. I did kind of get into the topics as the games progressed, so you get the idea. I don't know, I just get in these routines. Dallas, luckily, there's only 2 games up and coming. And yeah, we played Colorado very recently anyway, too. Nashville Saturday night, January the 18th. It is a 3-game series, and this is the rubber match. This is it. The Minnesota Wild are sweeping Nashville so far this year, 3-2 back on November the 30th, and 5-3 on New Year's Eve. Nashville's 3-2 in their last 5, losing to Winnipeg and Washington. That's understandable, but beat Vegas recently. Impressive. Sorry, I felt a sneeze coming on, but yeah, unlike the Wild. So, yeah, Wild couldn't beat Vegas. Oh, well, it is what it is, right? The Wild, yeah, let's just move on. Team comparisons: Minnesota's 16, Nashville's 31st in goals. Goals against: Minnesota's 10th, Nashville's 18th. Power play: Minnesota's 21st, Nashville's 20th. Penalty kill: Minnesota's all the way down to 30th. Wow. And Nashville's 6th. Penalty minutes: Minnesota is 18th, Nashville is 24th. And so on and so forth. And just to bring up the stat, Nashville's 32nd, worst in the league in shooting percentage. So, all right. Injuries, of course. Marcus Johansson did not return on Wednesday, the 15th, against the Oilers after getting elbowed in the head. Yeah. Sounds similar to what happened to Brock Faber. And this is all they have to say about the injuries. Really descriptive. You ready for this? Are you ready? Brody didn't play against the Oilers on Wednesday. Oh. Brock Faber didn't play against the Oilers on Wednesday. Okay, well, they didn't play. So, okay, that's all you're giving us. Thanks. Luke Evangelistia, huh? No, he's an evangelist. Well, praise the Lord, Luke. And I do mean that sincerely when I say praise the Lord. Believe me, especially now. Need him more than ever right now. Evangelista. See, this is actually something. We'll miss the next 4 weeks. See? How about the other guys? Just didn't play. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. But I suppose they're semi-close. It's not 4 weeks away like Evangelista. Robbie Stanley of the NHL.com reports Thursday on Jan 9th. Nashville Predators plays Jeremy Lauzon on injured reserve on Jan 6th. Okay. Adam Wilsby is considered week to week, according to injury reserve on as of Jan the 9th. Okay, so here we go. Anyhow, the Wild, I think we can beat Nashville, of course. Nashville is massively struggling. Should hopefully be able to sweep the season series. They're kind of like what we used to see the Edmonton Oilers as in the past, when the Oilers were like the worst. Like, what do you fix? Like how do you fix a rusty engine? Oil, like Oilers, you know. That's how bad the Oilers used to be. Saros in the net. He's the main goalie, of course. 2.78. Noonan was actually pretty good in net the other day for a little bit, and he's been generally good. 2.39 for the Predators. Saros does have 4 shutouts on the season, but the play in front of him has not been good. This is definitely a Nashville team that should have been a heck of a lot better. So very disappointing. I should almost just get to fan interaction. I think the Wild are going to beat the Predators. Generally speaking, final score 4-2. 4-2. Most likely got to score for Minnesota is Boldy. Against Colorado, I don't know. I mean, we just lose to them every damn time we play. So I don't know what else to say about that. Now we get the obnoxious spinning. Starting to lose my voice, whatever is left of it. So not good. Colorado it is. Let's go. 27-17-1. Yep. They are not a 500 team. McKinnon's leading the league in scoring with 70 points, 15 goals, 55 assists. Rakkinen with 61 points, 25 goals, 36 assists. Kale Makar, not Marker. 13 goals, 37 assists, 50 points. Colorado still somehow 4th place in the Central, but obviously with this better goaltending, they should be better. Generally speaking, their offense is elite, 5th in goals, 22nd in goals against, 17th in power play, 17th in penalty kills, 7th in penalty minutes, 6th in shooting percentage, even though that's, again, a stat I don't always bring up. The season series has been, well, not the best for Minnesota. You look at the injury report as well, for the heck of it. This one's a 2 p.m. game. This is Martin Luther King Day, so a lot of us will be off that day to watch. Samuel Girard did not play against the 14th. Thank you for that. Nushkin. Don't know what they're saying. Would not expect it back anytime soon as of, way back in New Year's Eve. Klingington, injured reserve as of forever, pretty much November. Oh boy, getting in a coughing fit here, so apologize. Yeah, I better get going into fan interaction pretty quick. Minnesota Wild will not beat the Colorado Avalanche. Avalanche win, final score, I don't know, 4-1, something like that. I don't have a very happy feeling about that one. Marco Rossi will score in the game, but the Wild lose. With that, we'll take a quick break, come back for fan interaction. Let's go. And we are back here on Brave the Wild, segment number 3 or 2, I guess, in this case, because of obviously conditions here. So yeah, we're gonna do fan interaction. Just real quick, Steve Bouillon did get the prospect of the week with Young Guns, MNW Young Guns. We made a unanimous vote. Great week this past week. He's now at 24 points in 20 games for Denver, and of course coming off that wonderful job in the World Junior Championships. Great job getting the gold medal there. So cool. 6 points in 7 games there. 5 goals, 19 assists so far for the defending national champion Denver Pioneers. So Steve Bouillon definitely the highlight when it comes to the prospects. Super quick. Liam Ogren is now almost at a point a game, as he's had several multi-point games for the Iowa Wild. Because obviously you're not going to score points in every game, but the multi-points make up for it, and then you get to almost a point a game now. 12 goals, 11 assists, 23 points in 25 games for the Iowa Wild. Liam Ogren definitely showing very positive signs at the AHL level. So kind of like Rossi when he started getting going, and that was cool to see at the time. So we'll see how it goes. So far he's played in 12 NHL games with 2 points in Liam Ogren's world. So to the Twitter X, whatever it is, at Brave the Wild. I kind of had it ready, and I kind of didn't. Kind of, sort of. Yep, hashtag BDW, man. Yep, that wasn't too hard to do. Makes everything much faster. Okay, so what I was saying, ready for So the way this is organized, we'll do the lightning round first, and then you hear from Morty twice. Yeah, I think some of those are responses, and then of course Jay Bushy. We'll wrap things up. So we'll go in that. We'll go in that chronological order this time. Derek Felska at crease and assist opens up things here. The Derek Felska lightning round hath returned. And of course, strong mention for the strong, highly recommended Crease Assist podcast. Great job, Derek. Teresa and Kalisha do an amazing job talking about the Minnesota Wild. So really appreciate that. What they do. Derek says it's been 3 weeks since Kaprizov got hurt with a day-to-day injury, and I understand a need to be careful. But at what point do you either admit the issue is worse than expected, or what? Do you think if the Minnesota Wild were losing, they would be this careful? It's a good question. Yeah. Well, they're losing now, unfortunately. Yeah, they just keep losing lately. But I mean, yeah, I suppose it was against better teams. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing, honestly. Some people think that he'd be playing if it was like the playoffs or whatever, but maybe he just wouldn't be effective. And like Kaprizov doesn't seem like a guy that plays really well if he's got an issue, like kind of a nagging issue. And next thing you know, he might be, be back on the injured list or whatever, and that would be extremely frustrating. Yep. Conversation continues to say it's a groin over the course of time. Heck, it might have been a groin even originally, like when he was sat on by, was it the Winnipeg player a long while back, sorry. So, yeah, it's extremely frustrating, no doubt. It's like, why isn't he back? They keep saying he's close, but then he's not there. He's just not playing, Faber and all them. So, but Kaprizov especially. Next, what are your impressions of David Jiricek after a few games with the Minnesota Wild? Do you think he's ready for prime time, or do you think there is some more work in progress to be made before he can say he's a full-time NHL defenseman? I kind of think we're probably more on the latter. Unfortunately, like he's not ready for the prime time, and I'm kind of scared about that trade. Honestly, I'm kind of worried about it a little bit. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully I'm in the minority. But well, if I'm in the minority, but I'm right, well, so be it. But that could be the case too. But I'm a little skeptical at the moment. At the same time, obviously with the injuries, it kind of is what it is. He doesn't look bad out there. Like, yeah, you can see there's a reason why he would be considered somebody who could be a pretty damn good offensive defenseman, but it hasn't resulted in anything yet. That's the unfortunate part. But there are early signs that there's something there. It's just not enough yet. That's kind of what I'm thinking. That there's some more work in progress to be made before he can say he's a full-time NHL defenseman. So I'll lean to that. Next one, if you were an NHL, oh boy, if you were an NHL player, what would be your goal song if they did individual goal songs, much the same way the Major League Baseball does walk-up music? Ooh, man, oh man. With me, I'm always thinking retro video games, and people will probably be like, "What the heck?" Oh no, now my mind's all quiet here. Thinking here real quick. Debating in my head. Well, two different options. Let's put it this way. So if you want like real, like regular music, with something maybe like Private Eyes, from Hall & Oates. That's like I just love that song. It's so nice. I like the way. I just love Hall & Oates. I like the quality of their music. It's insane. Like it's way beyond their. It's way beyond like the time they came out. It's just the quality of it. Obviously, like anything modern, I wouldn't even touch. For if it's a video game, I think Final Fantasy IV battle music. Like, yeah, let's go. Let's get this done. That'd be a fun one. And maybe if it was late in the game. I mean, the other option might be from like regular music. Say if you don't want voices, you'd rather just have like the instrumental, like dun dun dun. Let's go. Like the introduction for the final countdown. I remember what was it like? We had a closer years ago. Kane, I think, was it Matt Kane or something? He used to do that. Yeah, I've always loved that the final countdown. The da 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 da. So something like that. That's kind of what. Maybe yeah. So if there's no voice, maybe that one. I know it's kind of basic, but it's a cool song. Dang it. What Minnesota Wild player, either current or from the past, would make the best Klingon character? Ooh, I think probably God rest his soul. Can you guess who? Derek Bugard. Probably Derek Bugard. So a Klingon, right? Yeah, I think it would be him. There's a big possibility, or and like another one that it could be is like a Bertuzzi, Todd Bertuzzi. With the Vancouver Canucks and beyond. The other teams he was on, but especially with Vancouver, he'd be a heck of a Klingon, wouldn't he? I like that. That was pretty cool, to say the least. So some replying and such. What's going on here? Oh, come on. Okay. Hmm. Oh, yeah, I must have forgot to put, yeah, I see. We forgot to put the hashtag. But then, yeah, you put it up there that way. Marc-Andre Fleury insists that he is indeed retiring after this season. Why do you think people keep asking him if he's really or not? If he really is or not? Yeah, it's because it's like, I don't know, it's like, is it really over this time? Is it finally over? I don't know, it's like people like, I guess they like his personality, that kind of thing. It does seem kind of obnoxious, doesn't it? He's 40 years old. He should. He should. He's been good this year, and maybe people are surprised how well he's been playing. But, well, with how Gustafson's been playing, they haven't had to rely on him as much. Like last year when Gustafson played like crap, and Fleury was out there more often, he wasn't as good either. So it's like, yeah, you probably should just step away. It's time to go, and maybe get rid of Gustafson too. And this Wallsted's going to be the next Patrick Waugh, and it's like, no, not so fast about that either, huh? Interesting how things kind of came around with Gustafson and Fleury, and then Wallsted kind of fell off the face of the earth. But that's probably what it is. People are surprised how well he's playing and at his age, but no, I think he means it, and it's okay. So that's the end of the Derek Felska lightning round. Morty jumps in with the importance of KK. I believe they would. Yeah, Kirill Kaprizov. Yep, I believe they would hold him out even if they were sub 500 during his absence. Yeah. Reports are he is bored. Oh, I can imagine. They also are saying his body will tell him when he is ready. My belief that they are showing an abundance of caution so there won't be setbacks. Yeah, I agree with that. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's kind of how I was thinking, at the time of the question from Derek as well. Yeah, he's too important. It looks like there's a reply. Derek says, I understand that, but I wanted to hear Joey's take on it. Yep, no, that's okay. And Morty says, sorry, I couldn't help myself. Carry on. No, that's okay, completely. Thank you, Morty, for jumping on board. I appreciate that. Very much so. Very much so. Jay Bushy, wrapping things up, says, do you think there's going to be payback to the Preds player who injured Spurgeon on Saturday night? Probably. I can imagine there's going to be like that showdown where it's like there's the face-off and then there's the, like a Foligno is like lined up, or, lined, like facing him facing him on the forward area, center ice, whatever. Like looking at him, like, okay, are you ready? And it'll be kind of like right away. I have to think so. It's just kind of the way it needs to be, and yeah, I think it has to happen. So yes, I do think there should be something. Hopefully not injuring anybody, but I think the guy should be beat up by a Foligno or something. Yes, like kind of like he's gonna have to face the music when it comes to what took place. So that's probably what's going to happen, most likely, as far as I'm concerned. It's like the stare down. It's like, all right, it is what it is. So let's get this over with, that kind of thing. So, yep, really appreciate the inclusion, you guys. Thank you very much for being on board the show. Sorry this is so short. Just, yeah, I can only go so long. I mean, I hope this didn't come off as like half-ass or anything stupid like that. I absolutely love doing this show. I mean, that's why I'm still doing it, even though I'm not feeling good. Other people would have probably just sat out completely, and completely understandable. But I just wanted to get this out still today, kind of still keeping up with things and hearing from you, especially once I'd already posted out the bat signal. It's like, I better do the show, at least interact with you guys. And I really enjoyed doing that and appreciate it so much. So with that said, thank you very much for listening to the show. Get your DraftKings Pick 6 app. Support the Hockey Podcast Network, and of course support Brave the Wild as well. Share it, retweet it, tell your friends with word of mouth and all of that good stuff. Positive ratings, 5-star ratings on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and whichever. With that said, take care, and I'm gonna get myself better as well. Hopefully I sound way different next week in a positive way.